Keep arms down and head back and hold on.
I love everything about this story. I work in Loudoun County, Virginia, and the fire and rescue there, it's also the county where I trained to be a firefighter, even though I didn't run in that county, but I actually trained there. But the Inova hospital system that's a hospital system in the area. They had the fire and rescue service teamed up with the hospital, and they actually had superheroes rappelling down the side of the hospital and basically visiting the pediatric unit like through the windows. They were like there's a picture of like one guy playing tic-tac-toe on the window with the kid inside. I thought this was a really cool story, and I did add the link into our show notes at the top. If you go to that, there's a video at the bottom of the page. It's just a fun video, and I really love stuff like this. I love it's just a cool thing to me. It's also kind of a funny thing. I'm not 100% sure because it's like getting close to 20 years since I went through training, but I think the training supervisor of my class is actually Mr. Incredible. Not 100% sure, but it looks like him. I haven't seen him in almost 20 years, so I don't know, but it really looks like him. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool story. Speaking of hospitals, I'm still sick. As you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. I spent 5 worthless hours in the ER this week for them to tell me, oh yeah, you just have a cold. Like, my chest hurts. Well, yeah, that's because your lungs are inflamed and like, okay. That was a waste of like $2,000. And I'm still miserable. But life goes on, and they said that I could sound and feel like this for another 6 weeks, so I guess get used to this voice. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like, it's just like post-nasal drip is just wreaking havoc on me. And I think the thing is the weather this year is just like it's back and forth constantly. I don't know if it's been that way in Nebraska or up in Pittsburgh, but like here it's like 65 degrees, and then it's like down to 40, and then it's back up to like 70, and it's just like every other day we're like in this wild swing that's just wreaking havoc on me.
And we had one or two temperature swings, weather swings here that actually did. I mean, I'm pretty stable, I would say, but like we had 2 swings that when they happened, I pretty much got sick both times. Like it was like nasal congestion, upper, like all head stuff. It was just like, but it was that point, where I'm like, am I sick or am I just really allergy congested? Like I wasn't sure which one it was,
Yeah.
No, I've been dealing with the sinus pressure and stuff because of all the changes. And now for Pittsburgh, we're forecast to have snow on Monday.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. I don't know how much, if they're serious about it, but yeah, there's forecast for snow on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like
already.
And then you'll be wearing shorts at the end of the week.
Right.
It's
no doubt what will happen.
It's been ridiculous. I think the thing that's getting me, like, I've never had it last this long. Anytime the weather changes, like, I don't have allergies, but like everything the stuff that I do have, it's more like atmospheric pressure and that stuff. So like rain will get me, and like, anytime like the pressure changes, that just wreaks havoc on me. And like, even like there's been instances where I would go up and down a mountain. When I was a firefighter, I lived on the top of a mountain and the station was at the bottom. We did home response. If there was a time where I would like respond to the station like 3 or 4 times in the same day, that night I would have a horrible headache just from the pressure changes of, coming down off the mountain and then going back up. But like, yeah, this is just, the thing that I think is wreaking havoc on me the most of all is just the cough. I'm like coughing constantly and it's like, it hurts. It's like I've been coughing so much that it hurts, and I'm just constantly wanting to sleep. And I think it's just that I'm coughing so much is taking all of my energy. And like if I just lay down, I'm asleep. It doesn't matter what time of day it was or how much I already slept. Just like my body's just like it's time for a nap.
Time for a nap.
Yeah.
And inflammation's got to be dropping your O2 level.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that sparked me. I don't like going to the ER. Because it's usually in my case, it's a waste of money because doctors don't fully understand POTS and Ehlers-Danlos and the stuff that I have. So like, it has to be something weird. And like, that's the thing is like, I started having chest pains Wednesday night and like, that's not totally abnormal for me, but this type was weird. And then I put a pulse ox. I have a pulse ox. I put it on me, and it was showing like my O2 was dropping to 93. And I was like, my O2 is usually really high. And I'm like, I don't know. Then I like debated the whole, like, do I go to urgent care? But I know well enough that like, if you go to urgent care and you say anything about your chest, they stop and send you right to the hospital anyway. They just like, here's a bill for $1,000. Now go to the hospital. Like, I'm just not gonna. So, I might as well just go right to the ER because that's where I'm going to end up anyway. It just, it's just a nightmare. It's tough to work too, it's just like, you just no energy at all, just wasted it all on coughing. But that's why the chest pains were literally, the doctor literally said from coughing so much, my lungs are inflamed. And she said like, once that inflammation reaches the outer layer of your lungs, it can produce chest pains like that. I learn something new every day. I didn't know that was a possible thing, but apparently it is.
You found out the hard way.
Yes, and the expensive way, because and of course it's the end of the year too. So like my insurance deductible, like it'll eat it up for a whole month, and then it resets. Of course, like it never fails. Well, this is Side Friction Podcast. It's episode 104 for November 8th, 2025. I'm Bob.
I'm Greg.
I'm Ryan the Rad Mechanic.
And despite not feeling the greatest, I did manage to get to Six Flags America on Sunday. I was like, I'm not feeling the best. Like, I would not have gone had it not been the last day. Like, if it was not like, one of those scenarios where it's like, you will never have this chance again, I wouldn't have gone. But I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go for the whole day. I regret that. That park was so packed. It was ridiculous. I mean, packed.
That's one of the reasons I chose not to come, apart from the timing of it being on a Sunday and getting back to Pittsburgh in time for work. But
well, yeah. So here's the thing. I saw so many complaints. So here's a couple things that happened. When I got on Roar, I was going up the lift hill, which to me there were 3 coasters. I wanted to ride 3 coasters. I got 2 of the 3, but I wanted to ride Roar, Wild One, and Superman. And I rode Roar pretty much as soon as I got there. Well. As soon as I got there, I went in the fire cell in the gift shop. Everything was 85% off, which meant what was left was 85% off. Yeah. So I was going through just finding. I actually found stuff for my niece and nephew because they
stickers for only $8 instead.
No, honestly, it was. So I actually found a sweatshirt for LJ and a T-shirt for Piper. And I think it's just the luck of the draw. They just have sizes that aren't that popular. But like it was like for both of those were like $3, $2 or $3 each. And then there was like, what else did I get? Later I came back later and got some other stuff. Which I'll explain later. But I did that. I went to ride Roar, and I was climbing the lift hill, and like as the train was like starting to crest, I looked over towards Superman, and anybody that's been at the park knows that like Batwing is off on its own, like it's way off in the distance. It shut down a while ago. It wasn't running, of course, but Superman, the exit side of Superman faces Batwing, and there's a long exit ramp for Superman. And I look over, and I just saw this sea of people in the exit ramp. Like, I mean, the exit ramp was packed. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, what's that all about? I didn't know what it was all about until late that night when I got home, and I saw a couple posts. Somebody just decided he was going to climb Batwing.
Oh yeah,
and he did. And this must have been when that was going on. So like the crowd that I saw must have been watching this guy because we have a link of there's a YouTube video of it, and you know you can kind of see like most of the videos taken from the Superman's exit ramp. And you can see like other people, you know, taking video. He was arrested, escorted out. I think it was funny though, like watching security running down and like a couple vehicles just like rolling into the infield and like all of this. Like the response was actually kind of funny. And then all of a sudden it was like the kid realized like he made it the whole way up to the top of the lift hill.
He did.
And, like, you know, then you see in the video, he's like running down like he's going to get away with it. He didn't.
No.
But
did you notice one of the comments that was recorded on that video, though? Somebody in the crowd. What are they going to do? Ban him from the park?
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
From the park, Six Flags.
Yeah. I'm sure he probably is banned from Six Flags now.
Yeah.
But
because it's the last day of the park. That
right,
means you have zero repercussions of everything.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there's absolutely don't condone it. I wouldn't have done it. But also there's kind of that little part of me that's like, I kind of get it.
Cheer for the renegade. Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. It's like, you know, the loss of Six Flags America is like hitting a lot. I'll tell you what broke my heart. I was like, I was walking through Steamtown, and I think I was actually videoing, but I don't know if my video caught it or not. But this kid is just bawling and bawling. And like, you know, his dad's like trying to hug him and stuff, and like all like I hear his dad say, "Buddy, it's okay. We'll start going to Hershey Park now." And like I knew, it's just like, well, this kid, like this little kid is like heartbroken. This is his park.
Yeah, it's huge in his life, apparently. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I walked out of that park, I had a few tears in my eyes. Like I mean, it's a huge loss. And you know, just the people, the amount of people that showed up was just incredible. I mean, even though I only ended up riding Roar and Wild One, I never got to ride Superman, which apparently broke down late in the night, and a bunch of people didn't get to ride it. But like, I saw a bunch of Reddit threads. Like, people were like, "Well, this is why I didn't bother going, because if Six Flags doesn't care about rides, like, blah blah blah." And like, I think so many people are missing the point. It's almost like the funeral. You know, it's like you go to celebrate Six Flags America, like in the state that it is. And there was so much about the day that had nothing to do with the rides. It was just like being there with community. It was just being there to witness it. Like, there's a lot to be said about that. And, you know, just even when when I was walking back, I went to Superman, and Superman was roughly, I would estimate it was probably a 3-hour line. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll go ride Wild One first. And I got to Wild One, and it was like 3-hour line-ish, too. So I realized at that moment I had to choose between the two. And it was kind of tough, but Wild One's the one that can't, like, there's still Superman and Darien Lake. So, like, I could go still ride that one. Wild One, it's never going to be replaced. There's just, it's not, it's gone, you know? So that's the one I rode. But, you know, it was just like waiting in that line. Which I want to mention, like, I was waiting in line between 3 YouTubers, which, it was great. We had a lot of really good conversations. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, and I think that's it. I think it's I don't know, it's sharing memories. It's, you know, sharing things about the park. So I want to give a shout out to the Rob Zip Show, Savage Mister, and Dren's Adventure. It will, I think I'll add their links to their channels their channels into the show notes as well. Just if anybody wants to check them out. But yeah, we had a great time talking, and you know, after that, we actually got a night ride, even though we were in line well before it was night. They actually had set up, like, they had to set up queues. They had, like, ropes set up beyond the queue because it was just overflowing. When we got off, the line was longer. This is at close. The line was longer than when we got in it. They had to be running through the night. You know, it just had to be an ongoing thing. And it, you know, at that point, it's like, okay, well, the park's closed, right? I think I still left at 7:30, and the park was still packed. People just didn't want to leave, which, you know, it was. You know, I didn't want to leave. You know, we just, you know, people bumping into people at the front of the park, just sharing memories and stuff and talking about stuff. It was just a really cool experience. But the funny thing was that gift shop that I'd mentioned before, there was nothing hanging up anymore. Like, everything was gone, except you could tell that somebody went into the deepest, darkest corners of storage, and they found boxes of stuff. And I kid you not, there were just boxes of stuff sitting on the floor. And it was just like a rummage sale. Like, you had to dig through the boxes to find stuff, you know, that you wanted, you might want. And I found a couple fanny packs that I bought, which is a funny story. When I went to Kennywood, I remember Greg was telling me, like, Bob, your backpack's they're not gonna let you in with your backpack. Yeah. And I, like, asked my sisters and everybody, I'm like, hey, does anybody have, like, a small bag or a fanny bag? And nobody had one. Well, now we do. And they say Six Flags America. I also found a couple keychains that I was able to get. And yeah, I think that's all I got. There wasn't much left. There were a ton of those, like, those bubble pop things, I don't know, like the fidget things. There was a ton of those, but they weren't park specific. You know, they weren't even park related. They were just generic. Right. Even though I could have probably bought them for like 20 cents each. Oh, I did buy a couple sunglasses straps for, I think they cost me like 30 or 40 cents each.
There you go.
They did have a whole box of those, but I'm not really a fan of that style. But I was like, I'm gonna grab a few just to have a few in case somebody forgets one, or, you know. But yeah, it was, you know, it was a good day, and I'm really sad to see that part go. Really sad.
You and apparently a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the thing, this is one of the things that, this came up in a couple conversations. It's like, well, they weren't making money. They were. They had to be. The park would have closed years ago if they weren't making money. The problem is Six Flags just wants stuff that makes more money.
Yeah.
And that's what this boils down to. This isn't like, oh, well, they were losing money over this. They weren't losing money over this park. There's no way they were.
They just didn't get a big enough margin out of it.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. It's like, oh, well, we'd rather sell it and make a huge profit in one shot, which I ran into a lot of other people, too, that said they were really curious how this was going to go, because there were other people that felt like Six Flags thinks that property is a lot more valuable than it really is. There's no doubt that it's got a value to it, but for some reason that edge, right? That edge of that side of DC is not. Everything's moving out, and it's not really that populated in comparison to the rest. And that's the one I was having a conversation with somebody, and they're like, "Well, it's the DC area." It's like, yeah, but you look at DC area, you're right off the Beltway, and you go into low density housing. But you go west. I live in West Virginia, and that density is coming out towards me. I'm an hour and a half away from DC, and it's starting to get really dense out here. Everything's coming this way, not going that way. Even the Commanders are leaving. That whole stadium's gonna go away. That whole area is drying up. So I don't think that Six Flags really understands the value. I think they're really overestimating. Still in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope they're like, well, they get desperate and they're like, well, let's just sell the park as a whole to somebody. I'm not going to put money on it, but I really would love to see that happen. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. Yeah, did I hit on everything from that?
Yeah.
I think so. Now let's get into the other thing. It's annoying me. Yes. I think it's annoying everybody.
The ongoing Mamba story that isn't a story.
They saved her life.
It's not a story.
I went on to, search for stuff to talk about on the show. And I swear to God, 9.5 out of 10 things that came up was about this thing at Worlds of Adventure or Worlds of Fun that I'm like, you gotta be kidding. They all need to watch Ryan's show. And then they'll understand that it's not something they should be going on and on and on about. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, I made the video because so when we talked about it last on the show here, it was just like a seatbelt came undone. Okay. It was no big deal. And then the resolve of that was they had the state governors come in. Right, and then they said 20 belts needed to be replaced. Now that sounds like a lot for a lot of people. It's like, okay, but you think about the number of units that are out available on the ride, and it's like, okay, that's a big number. But when you're specifically called in to look at seat belts, like you're an inspector, and they go to this place and look at their seat belts, you're going to be much more critical about every little tiny thing. So if you were just going there on a normal inspection and you were looking at that seatbelt, the inspectors would probably be like, yeah, you got 5 or 6 seatbelts that need to be replaced out there because they don't retract in or they don't pull out, they don't feel as tight as they should be. But when you give them a critical eye, say, go just focus on the seatbelts and nothing else, then it's like, okay, you go out there and you come back with a list like at 20. At 20 need to be replaced, or they recommended that 20 were replaced, and the park replaced them. So it's just like, this is really not a thing. It's just like, okay, the seatbelt came undone.
And the important thing to stress is this is a secondary restraint. It's
right.
not required for the safety of the ride.
Correct. This is the lap bar or harness is your primary restraint, and the seatbelt is the secondary. The seatbelt is the thing that lots of people put on rides to make insurance and lawyers happy. And they say, well, we've got a secondary restraint on there. And it does all sorts of, it makes everyone happy and gives everybody a warm, fuzzy feeling all the way around the pocketbook, basically, to make sure that the money's not taken in the future. But yeah, I mean, this is just it. It's just a secondary restraint. That's all it is. And like I said on the last show, if you want to know if your restraint is your belt is a primary or a secondary, if you can unbuckle or unlock your seat, that is a secondary restraint. It's not the primary. Primaries you can't open yourself. You have to wait for somebody to come by and open it. So the whole thing is like, this is just an exercise, and this is not news at all. This is the same in my mind, like, the infamous, which we get all the time, ride stopped on the lift hill.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
God.
Right. Yeah, everyone, exactly. Everyone rolls their eyes. Holy crap. Why is this coming up again? But that is exactly what this is. It's like a ride stop, and then somehow it's made the news and gained momentum. It's just like, what? No, this is not a thing.
Saw a little snippet of an interview of what the lady and the couple that were going to turn around and ostensibly holding her in. And oh my God, the drama and just overwrought emotions that are like, was it really?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing.
Or were you just attention mongering?
Well, I think it's kind of in the middle, because the reality is what happens is you don't fully understand how a coaster is working,
right,
and you see something not as you think it should be. You are immediately concerned that, oh my God, she's in danger. And once your mind is convinced that girl's in danger, everything you see
runs away, yeah,
is an example of her being in danger. So normal airtime is a absolutely safe thing, but when you're already in that mode of like, oh my God, airtime is danger. That's what is being looked at. And I mean, you kind of have to think too, like the whole point of a coaster producing airtime is to trick our bodies into thinking you're in danger. So as soon as you let go of that like logical brain, it's all panic, because I mean, in a sense, that's what the roller coaster is designed to do. It's designed to scare you. That's why they're fun. So yeah, I don't feel like I don't think they're intentionally like, oh, we're gonna make this like, we're gonna insert ourselves here and make ourselves this big hero. I think it's a natural response to what they perceived.
Right. There's no doubt that it was, to the girl especially, it was an absolute horrifying incident.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And there's nothing you can do about that. In her, like you said, in her mind, it was for sure an in-game experience.
But even in the people holding her in, they're also thinking like, this girl's in serious danger too.
Oh yes, and, absolutely.
I can totally go along with that. What really is annoying me is the way the media is egging them on.
Well, and
they were in that interview.
That's the thing too. Like the media, if you're responsible media, why aren't you talking to experts about roller coaster safety?
Yeah.
Where's that voice? If you are truly reporting the story, why aren't you talking to people that truly know the situation and understand like, what were the ramifications? Was there any danger? But
they don't do that.
No, they don't, because it's far more dramatic, and it's far more clickbaity if you say like, this couple saved her life.
Oh yeah, the headlines that pop up in a Google search or whatever over that are just crazy.
Yeah,
over the top.
I said on my video the response for that. I mean, did the two people that helped that girl out, did they overreact? It's like, no, they reacted accordingly to the situation. Was it necessary? Wasn't necessary, in my opinion. But you know what? They were there. They did that. And I said the same thing on the video. I thank them for doing that. I mean, that was a good, wholesome thing that they were executing, that this was in need to help this person out. And that is awesome that somebody else was able to pull through and do that, even though the real risk wasn't there. But I mean, just the fact that, people band together and helped out was just an awesome thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it when you see, when faith in humanity kind of pops up and it's like, look,
absolutely.
there it is. We have it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the
problem here is the media.
Over sensationalized.
Yeah. Yeah, the media should be putting the brakes on and saying like, no, here's the reality. But no, this is the same group of people that are like saying, oh my God, it stopped on the left hill. We're in danger. No, it stopped on the left hill to take them out of danger.
Man, that's the same way we worked for maintenance too, was just like, look, from the time you hit ride stop and the vehicle stops on the lift hill, whether it's, for a camera out or the ride just runs into the block and says, okay, we can't progress further. From where we were out there in California, we had about a 25-minute window. After about 20 to 25 minutes, if we could not get the ride started from there, you would hear helicopters. And there was the news teams right there. Yep. And the amount of people that when the ride stopped after about 5 minutes, the amount of people that would call 911 and say that their kid has been stuck on this ride for hours is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like 911 would, because they knew what we had a procedure with the park and 911 services. So people call up 911. Hey, my kid's been on that ride for hours. 911 would instantly call the park. What's going on with this ride? And they're like, it's a ride stop on a lift hill. We have control of it. And they're like, okay, what time did the ride go down? Because they knew that this was a normal process. What time did the ride go down? 15:22. And they look at their watch and it's like 15:27. And they're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks.
I can relate to the fear of that girl though, because the first time I rode Magnum XL was so we were there opening year of Magnum XL. I was too afraid to ride it. Took my family 3 years to convince me to ride it. So I'm sitting next to my dad, and they dispatch us, and my seatbelt's not fastened, and I can't get it. Actually, kind of the same thing, only in the reverse. It is that twisted seatbelt thing, and I can't get it free for nothing. We're like climbing the lift hill, and I can't get my seatbelt fastened. My dad's laughing at me. Which now that I'm 45, I get it. But like,
right.
Oh my God, the fear of I had to be like 12, 13?
Oh, okay.
12, I think. Probably 12. Oh my God, I was freaking out because I was scared to ride the thing. It took him 3 years to convince me to ride it. I was freaking out, man. That fear. I was so scared that day. Got off and wanted to ride it again, though. But
here's the worst one I've ever had. This is my worst experience. I mean, it's not even my experience. We got a call down at this ride that the person says restraint open mid-ride. We're like, BS, complete. Like, I send my lead down there because it is a restraint call. Send my lead down there. Go figure it out. He says, okay. Goes down there. Like 10 minutes later, he says, hey, come down to this ride. Okay. And I'm the supervisor, so I'm like, I don't ask. When the lead tells me come to a ride, I go to the ride. Right? So it's like, okay, come down. What's up? He says, restraint open mid-ride. I'm like, yeah, what'd you find out? He says, no, the restraint open mid-ride. What? And he says, yeah. I looked over it. It's fine. Did all my click tests and everything. Got on it. Rode it. Midway through the ride. Opens up and hits a secondary. What? And he said, a brand new ride, too. It's only been open for 2 months. And he says, you want to ride it? I'm like, F no, I don't want to ride it. No, are you kidding me? No. So So it's like, okay, and the crew, and I go to the crew, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "You clear the queue line, like effing clear the queue line down." It's like I'm starting to call the director. I'm like, "We need the manufacturer on the phone. We're gonna be like, this is red flag, all hands on deck," you know, and our pull tests were coming back fine at first, and then we started just wrenching on the things and pulling on them way harder than anyone would ever do. And we basically opened up, we got down to basically 3 times the strength that we normally would. And then suddenly it's like click, 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 and then the restraint just opened up. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. So obviously since it was a newer ride, we shut the thing down, and we immediately contacted our engineering department.
Was this just one seat?
Manufacturer.
Was this just one seat, or was it all of them?
This was one seat. We contacted the ride manufacturer, our engineering department, and we got everybody involved in this. And we had like the manufacturer ended up shipping us basically all new locking mechanisms for all the seats, because we're like, we don't know, but we're not going to reuse anything in here. Yeah. So they shipped everything 100% brand new. And the manufacturer is like, oh, ship us the old stuff. And engineering was like, no, ship us the old stuff first. We want to see it. We had engineers that like, we want to do metal testing. We want to do everything on this to make sure we want to know what it is first before they tell us what it is. So it's like we shipped everything out, and it's like we ended up replacing everything. I don't know what the final outcome was with that. I just know that the stuff that was in there was supposed to be, because, you know, that final outcome, that's not really our level stuff to know.
Right, yeah.
It's like it's between the company and the manufacturer, but it's like what we just know is like the stuff that was supposed to be just NDT'd every year, just make sure it's okay, non-destructive testing every year, was now just 100% getting replaced every year regardless. Like we're not taking this again. And then before the ride opened up, originally that ride did not have seatbelts, and then afterwards it had seatbelts.
I wonder why that was.
That was we lost the warm fuzzy feeling, so we were like, okay, we're gonna do something else here now. So I mean, but also the seatbelt that they put on there, it wasn't a cheap like an automotive, you know, just push and click seatbelt. These were seatbelts that were climbing rated, you know, anodized aluminum components put together. They actually had climbing pull ratage on them and everything. They were like, I don't know, a couple $100 per seatbelt to put in there.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was like when they were like, we need to add seatbelts to this, we didn't argue. We were like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
All right.
Do it.
Good.
I think that's the only
cool
time.
part about that is that failed all the way to the secondary, and the secondary did exactly what it was supposed to do. And there was no troubles with that. Like the secondary, so I can say for beyond a shadow of a doubt, what happens if the primary fails? The secondary caught it, and it did exactly what it was supposed to. And it worked. The manufacturer's engineering worked. Like everything was spot on.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Very cool.
I think that may be the only time I've ever heard of even a primary failing anywhere.
Yeah, it's rare. It's super rare. And most of the time that stuff doesn't make it outside of, you know, the park.
Right.
It never makes it out. It's like, nope. But then you have someone like me here. I'm like, remember the time this failed and remember the time that failed? It's like, surprisingly with new stuff, your chance of something failing is much higher.
Makes for some interesting reunions, I guess.
Yeah.
Talking about all the failures.
It's like you come into some failure stuff. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it's like my park was the root cause. We were the cause of why Lightning Rod opened up late. because lightning rod was ready to open up.
See, this
and
is
our park was opening ours at the same time, and then we had a problem which caused lightning rod not to open because we're like, uh-oh, stop. And everyone was like, stop, and it went across all the models, stop. Which unfortunately, that was lightning rod.
see, that's just a tease right there.
Bob's gonna lose sleep over it now.
Well, I mean, just like most of my stuff, it's not hard to connect the dots, but I just don't say it outright.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can say, nope, I didn't tell him.
Right?
Well, one thing that did happen, and do you have any thoughts? This is such a weird thing.
It is.
Looking at the picture, it's like, it's just weird. 2 girls were hospitalized after they were thrown from a Ferris wheel. And the video shows the tub is just it didn't turn.
Sideways. Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's like what? It's beyond
When I
90
read the
degrees.
headline, I was thinking immediately, the old-fashioned kind of Ferris wheel where you're just sitting on a bench, basically.
Right, yeah.
But no, this is the bucket style with a roof kind of thing on it.
Yep.
And
Big opening, though. Still get out of it.
Yeah, but it's still just really
Well, clearly you get out of it, you fall out of it.
fall out of it when it's flipping over.
Luckily, they were down low when it happened,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So what even causes this?
So if you look at a Ferris wheel and picture any one of the cabs whatsoever, I don't know, how is your mental projection? Let's see. If you look at the side of a Ferris wheel on the cab and just watch the cab that you load into, and now picture that cab throughout the rotation. Cab always stays upright.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you freeze the cab and then rotate the wheel around it, you'll see that it's rotating 360 degrees. So when you think about it that way, all you have to do is catch the cab on something.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you catch the cab on a wire or something protruding out, now that has now held it in that position. Now the wheel is turning. And now that cab fails to rotate.
But you said the wire, and that's what got me. It's something happened to the structure of the. Like in my mind, I'm like, what freezes
in the
that?
article, it caught on the wires.
Oh,
there you go.
It did say
It says
that? Maybe
about
they updated
halfway
it.
down.
Somehow. Now, the reason those wires should be out of the clearance envelope. So something else happened to get it close to those wires, but it caught a wire, and then once you hold an object stationary on a wheel, it's like it's a 360-degree ride from there.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Not going fast enough to hold you in.
No, yeah. So I don't know. I wonder if they updated it. When I first saw this, I don't think that was there. I think they may have added that as more information became available. But
That you were coughing too hard when you read that paragraph.
That could very well be the case as well.
But it's a fun one to think about on Ferris wheels, because you see something like that where the cab is, where you enter into it, it's pointing at what, 90, 100 degrees off of where you would normally see it.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then it does get your brain like, well, wait a minute, how did it get there? But then if you think about everything rotating at the same time, it's like, all you have to do is stop the rotation at the right point.
Yeah, it's
and you found it.
The wire thing is a thing. Like you just think about okay, how do the wires move into that position? Like if a wire breaks, it breaks. It's not going to hold anything.
I mean, that's a good question. So
that's more of what's going through my head is just like, how does that, like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's bizarre.
A lot of these things use just like clamps and stuff like that to hold things together, and those clamps can loosen and slide. So is it just something was left a little bit loose and it finally caught something? Might have been. Not sure. cables are used lots in traveling stuff.
Yeah.
I know when I had that zipper accident where that one came apart, that was one of the big things it looked like. It looked like one of the clamps had loosened up and slid along the cables.
Yeah, so that's another thing. We got to talk about another zipper accident.
Well, I mean, there's so many of them out there in use since, 1962 or something like that?
Right.
I mean, yeah. Think about how many scramblers are out there.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, this one, there's a reason why 9-year-olds don't operate fairground rides.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind when I read that.
When I saw this, I'm like, oh, what now? And I'm reading down, and it's like, the operator is 9 years. What? What are you talking about? 9 years old? Yeah. So one of the ride operators' son was actually at the controls of this zipper, and
Cool.
exactly. And there was a very intoxicated person in the vehicle, and they weren't getting out, and anybody that's seen like a zipper actually operating like at peak efficiency, they're loading two sides at the same time. So you have two operators, one on each side, and they're loading in. So the one side signaled they were ready to go, and the 9-year-old said, "Oh, they're ready to go," but totally ignored the other guy who still had the cab open, and somebody passed out in the vehicle. And as it went up, it dumped her out. I mean, that's one way to say, like, hey, time to get out. But
Yeah.
Man,
Are you sure this wasn't a newer model that had some sort of capacity check initiated on the inside, like an AI version where it's like, are you inebriated? Yes. It's like dump. Yeah. No. It's like you can't ride.
There's a breathalyzer when you get in there.
Right? Spell red. It's like you can't. It's like, all right, get up.
Well, yeah. Makes me wonder if the 9-year-old also put that Ferris wheel together.
the child was described as really good at cracking buckets or loading and unloading passengers from cage-style rides. But he wasn't doing that.
No, he was
pushing the buttons.
controls.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it. I mean, I've talked to a lot of inspectors about traveling carnival style rides, talking about the safety of them because they have a natural black mark on them. Like they don't have a good representation of safety amongst the traveling stuff. So I said, what do you look for on rides? And I was told you look for the people operating it. That because your operator is, I mean, just like a major roller coaster too, your operator is the first line of defense. They are the ones that are going to see a problem, hear a problem, and stop the ride and really know, like, okay, this is it. But I mean, if you don't have that operator there,
Or if they're 9 years old.
Right.
what's the competency rate of that 9-year-old? Now, I'm not calling a 9-year-old dumb by any means. Honestly,
No,
that kid's probably got a lot more than most people do in that situation.
This is actually, you're probably right.
But there's more, I don't know. That's a really weird one because if it's like the kid's been in that environment for a long time, just like any ride operator, it's not the age of the operator, it's how long they've been exposed to that equipment. One of my favorite ride calls was like, this ride won't start. I'm like, okay, go down and start the ride. And the operator was like, push the start button. I'm like, see, it won't start. I'm like, where's your key? And they're like, this ride needs a key? And I'm like, let me call your supervisor. Hold on.
Oh.
That was an older ride operator, but that was their little experience on that ride. So experience does play a lot into what happens.
I think it does too. I think the thing is like if they were loading passengers, like I think the thing with a young kid like that isn't so much that doesn't know what he's doing. It's more of like the attention, which literally is what, but like younger children don't really have that attention that you kind of need to have. Like the attention span. And maybe he does. I don't know. I'm not going to get on a zipper that's.
There's that, but also, what about really skirting some labor laws?
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you get into a really weird area right there because it was the person's son, right? It was the owner's son.
Yeah. But,
so at what point do you say this is no longer employment? It's just part of the family. Because I know people do stuff like that. They get around labor laws. Not to like this is like, oh, we're sticking it to somebody. But so here's a good one. My son wants to go work at a haunted house local for in October time. Well, he's too young. He can't. But if I get a job there, he can get a job there because now I have the job because his parent now has the job. So it's weird because they won't hire him because he's too young. But if I get employed there myself, now he can work there. That's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very strange.
Yes. That's actually the farmer loophole thing because farms don't have, farms are kind of waived from a lot of the child labor laws because of that exact reason.
Oh, yeah, because kids out here in Nebraska at like 13 years old can go to work and shuck corn during the corn season and get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, Wisconsin, like where I grew up, same thing, family farms.
Yeah, well, even in Pennsylvania, it's like that. Like there's so many laws that is especially like not even just getting the jobs. It's like if you're the family member, then you can drive tractors and everything. You can drive them on the road. There's not like. I mean, you can't drive a car on the road, but you can drive a tractor down the road.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, tractor's not going to go 80 either.
No, but you can run over a car.
But still, it's family member or not, 9 years old. There's got to be something somewhere that says. But if they're traveling, who's going to catch up with that?
Yeah, there's that too.
Before they're moved on to someplace else.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. I just like if the 9-year-old was loading the basket, like, I don't think I'd be as concerned as like pushing the button.
The fact that he's
especially on the older rides, like they mention older rides not having the interlocks. Like that's. I don't know. For me, that's just kind of, but it's also hindsight too, Like if I wouldn't have read this, would I have felt the same way? I don't know.
So one thing that's happened here, I just thought about this. One thing that's happened here that we don't have any resolve on is that it's like, okay, 9-year-old's operating it. Okay, a drunk person fell out of it. Okay, but I still want to know why the drunk person fell out of it. What happened? There was a step missed. Somebody didn't lock.
No, the drunk person was like passed out, not getting out. So the ride was open and the 9-year-old pushed the go button while the vehicle was open.
Oh, is that okay? I'm sorry. I didn't completely grasp onto that then.
Yeah, so they were unloading. So like the other side was like the other side signaled that they were good to go. Because their side, they had the person in and locked. But this other side, they were still trying to get the drunk person out of the ride. And the 9-year-old pushed the go button, and then, the vehicle went up, and then they were dumped out because the door was open. And with those doors, that's, the door is going to weight it so that it falls forward, too.
Yeah, then, age can play some fault there just because if a 9-year-old like that, little cocky, would probably be like, I'll get him out of there. I could totally see myself doing that. This guy won't get out. It's like, hold on, I'll get him out of there. Hold on 1 second. Let me just bump this real quick and thud. There he is. Like, yep, okay. Lock the door back up. We'll send that one around empty. It's fine.
At least it wasn't stored.
But that is such a weird story, though.
Yeah.
Like, what? This has like a little bit of everything in it.
It kind of does.
It's got drunk people. It's got underage people. It's got carnival rides. It's like
Everything Ryan rails against.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Well, so another really interesting story that somehow's on a rundown twice. Fix that. Cedar Point was potentially now I can't read it.
Yeah, are you locked out now too?
Yeah.
It's fine for a minute.
It was, yeah, I got in fine last time too. Well, anyway, an alleged terror plot the FBI stopped, and it potentially involved Cedar Point. Tony Clark said they were working with the FBI. This is one of those things that, like, I don't know. I don't know how much I buy into this. Like, something happened, yes. Somebody was talking about something they shouldn't have been, but, you know, the attorney representing the kid also might be right in that this was just a bunch of kids talking on the internet about stuff they probably shouldn't have been talking about, but, like, wasn't meant, like, I don't know. One thing I've started to notice is kids don't really realize how much is being watched. And, you know, I could see this both ways. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody was really at risk or anything, but, you know, I'm not saying the FBI shouldn't have stepped in. Like, I'm definitely not saying that. Because you have to take terrorism seriously, but
Absolutely.
Well, especially, I mean, they do talk in this article about that there were actual arms involved in terms of, you know, going to gun shops and collecting stuff, or charged with that. So
that's certainly a
more
problem.
material than just
right. Yes. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. But yeah, so that was foiled by the FBI. I don't know. It's just kind of weird that this is like, oh yeah, this was foiled, and like, but Kash Patel is the one like talking about it. It just seems like it's being blown up. Like, I don't know. Something feels off to me, and I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if anybody else feels that way or not, but
well, it's typical in a way. We don't have enough information.
No, yeah, we don't.
To really know anything about what's really happened. And, you know, you're quoting Tony Clark. Who knows?
Yeah, we haven't heard from Tony Clark in forever, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, I was working with the FBI. Oh, there you are. Is that why we haven't heard from you?
Yeah, down at the bottom it says that the attorney for the defendants was a group's recreational gun activity, and the internet communications put them on the FBI's radar, but maintains the suspects were merely gamers who talked through social media and had no plans to harm anybody. Now, you know, the CIA, FBI, all those people, you know, they watch and listen to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they're listening to us right now.
Absolutely. But, I mean, most of the time it's very complex algorithms running that watch all sorts of things and listen for keywords. And then once they tip off enough keywords and the score gets high enough, then it transfers to a live person, and a live person starts addressing the threat. And so I have to assume, just an assumption on my part, 100%. I have to assume that they hit enough of those keywords, it transferred to a person, and the person looked at everything going on and said, yes, this is a problem.
But see, here's the problem, though. For me, like this is just in my brain. It's kind of similar to what I explained on Mamba. You have
seatbelts were involved.
Yes, the seatbelts were broken, and that's why this is
Explosive seatbelts.
But like that human that is picking up after an electronic process flags that. You kind of already have it in your mind as like, oh, this is flagged as something going on. Yeah. So are you really approaching that with an open mind? Or are you approaching that as this was flagged as dangerous. I need to look at it from that mindset. And then you start looking at it from the wrong angle.
Yeah, but then there's also there's all these other horrible incidents that have unfolded throughout many years.
I agree, and that's why I'm not saying that is what happened.
Yeah,
it's just I think the thing for me is I've been having a struggle with the whole privacy implications of things like AI and things that are being trusted that shouldn't be trusted, and they're giving like this
free pass.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's so many people that are like being flagged by facial recognition that aren't the right. They're not the people, but they're being flagged. And police departments are actually arresting people, drawing guns on people that aren't the people in question because an AI facial recognition system said that was the person and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's why I have this I don't know. I'm glad they were involved. I'm glad the FBI got involved and looked at it, especially for the fact that they had all these weapons. Like, that's a serious, that's something you really need to look at, because we have way too many school shootings and mass shootings in this nation that need to be stopped. But, at the same time, though, I think kids don't understand that, I don't know. I don't want to say this, but I do think it's also kind of a reality is like if this was really seriously a terror plot, they're probably not talking about it on the platforms that got intercepted. Like if this was a serious terror plot, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, we know nothing about these people.
No, we don't.
To generalize, you could probably get involved in trying to do a terrorist plot and still be stupid. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's
think you're untouchable and all of that sort of thing, even though you're clueless as to how much you are being watched.
Right.
I mean,
probably this conversation right now is going to bring them to my door.
Right.
Yeah, they came to my door. Oh, that was Bob. That was all Bob. Yeah. Let me tell you where he lives.
Right.
I'm going to drive you there.
Well, I mean, look at the people out there that turn on, when they go on the internet to do shady stuff, they turn on incognito mode for Apple or a private browsing mode. And they're like, now nobody knows what I'm doing. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
No, everybody knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
But there are, so many people that are just blissfully ignorant about where their information is and where it's going and all that stuff. Which brings me to today's sponsor. Oh, wait. No sponsor?
No.
Sounds like a good spot for a sponsor right there. I'm just saying, if someone wants to drop a cool 12, 13 grand into the show and do a sponsor, we could probably work that out.
Okay. So here's I just clicked a link and found something else interesting. This is actually linked to a lawsuit from Epic Mega Games or Epic Games. It used to be Epic Mega Games, but
Epic Games, okay.
Yeah, Epic Games was already suing this kid.
What?
Well, that took a turn.
Boy, that did. Is this kid 9 years old also?
This is ridiculous. Yeah, seriously. So yeah, I'm still kind of looking through this, but he accused Nasser and another man of using thousands of bots to swindle tens of thousands of dollars from the company.
Oh. Wow, cybercrime, huh? That's amazing. We're learning all sorts of stuff right here. This is real-time investigation, folks. Bob is hot on the trail. We've got our best guy on it.
There will be citizens arrests.
Knock down the door holding a cap gun. Freeze. Citizens arrest. Please get on the floor.
Okay, so they were trying to attract members of the LGBTQ community, and the defendant was searching for information online about the terror attack at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando.
Is this for like copycat purposes, I wonder?
I don't know. The defendants allegedly debated between carrying out an attack on Halloween or New Year's Eve, though they used code words pumpkins and fireworks for the respective holidays. One man allegedly said he didn't like fireworks, so they would go with pumpkins instead. Nasser and another person visited an amusement park in the Midwest, about 3 hours from Dearborn, at least twice, buying tickets and entering once. The FBI seized a computer on which an accomplice had searched for, "Is it crowded on Halloween weekend at amusement park?" which we now know is Cedar Point. Based on training and experience, I believe that the unnamed accomplice in Nasser's visits to the amusement park are consistent with scouting the amusement park as a possible attack location. An FBI agent writes in an affidavit attached to the complaint.
I mean, I think just off my head right there, I don't know much about this stuff, but it's one thing to go online and talk crap with your friends about doing stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one thing. But now it sounds like they were actively seeking out locations. They were actively seeking out targets. Yeah. Like, okay, that I could definitely see put them into the red flag territory with the FBI. Absolutely. I mean, unfortunately there's been a lot of this stuff where the FBI and those places said, well, we knew about that, but the level, their assessment level was low. But it turns out the people or persons actually executed their plot.
We're serious, yeah.
Yeah. I unfortunately, I think there's just so much of it out there. You can't take every threat credibly because there's so many threats. That's horrible to say by itself.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. We won't really know the truth, but potentially Cedar Point was a target.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah. Very much so.
Some crazy stuff. What's wrong with people these days?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Well, moving on. United Parks is not doing well. So apparently their stock collapsed today, which is Thursday, November 6th, or the day we're recording on. I think it was today, yeah. Let's see. They're unexpected negative 5.11%. Yeah, their revenue fell 6.2% from the same period last year. They had 6.8 million visitors which is under the predicted 7.1 million visitors. It's not an industry collapse, not even close, but a dip of this scale can signal something more meaningful. Changing consumer priorities, tightening travel budgets, or shifting perceptions of value. Or, maybe charging random surcharges for everything isn't really that good for business.
Yeah.
Just got to throw that out there. That might be a problem.
That can't be good.
The company reported 268.65 million in admissions, missing the estimated 292.83 million, and marking a 9.5% year-over-year decline. Total revenue per capita came in slightly under expectations at 75.39. And the projected was 76.68. In-park per capita exceeded expectations slightly. $35.82.
People aren't going as much, but once they get there, they'll spend.
But, I mean, so it's $35.82 is what it reached. They were expecting $35.32. So right there, you're talking about the surcharges. Their per capita spending increased because of the surcharges, but at the cost of less visitors. So, it's kind of what, people had been saying. You eventually start wearing people down. You start trying to pry money from people, and they don't feel like going to your parks much anymore.
I would like to see a comparison between this, United, Six Flags, and Herschend. I wonder where Herschend, how they compare, because they don't do that to people.
Right. Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I think we're, there's kind of like this speculation that the industry is struggling, which the problem with that is that's really based on United and Six Flags, who are both park chains that are doing annoying things to their customers. Where Herschend, if there's really a downturn happening, I don't think Herschend would have been buying Palace. And I think Palace was doing pretty well. There weren't any signs that they were struggling.
I don't think the industry is struggling. I think the country is struggling.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like, meaning that to say the industry is struggling because the country is struggling. But like we talked about when Greg and I went to Knoebels, people were still going to those parks. Like the independent parks are packed. Hershey's been packed.
Yeah.
There are parks that are doing really, really well. And I just feel like people are just getting tired of this game. Like, we just want to go and have fun. We don't want to have to be nickel and dime for everything we do. And United really stepped into it. Like, everywhere you turned at United Parks, there was a surcharge. There was something going on. I was like, you have to pay for this. You have to pay extra for this. You have to pay extra for this. And I don't know. I do think the destination parks are going to start struggling, though, because of like the whole air travel thing.
I think they're already there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out over the next couple of years. But I really I don't think that surcharging your customers is helping you in any way, shape, or form. It might increase your per capita, but you're gonna lose so much elsewhere. It's one of those annoying things.
I follow lots of Disney stuff just because my family and I we go to Disney all the time, at least once a year. The way it's been anyway. But so I follow lots, and it's all the same stuff from the Disney point of view too. It's attendance is down. Now these, I should say, I'm not watching like people reporting financial fiscal numbers and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm watching people that are going to the parks, that are doing the blogs and stuff like that, or vlogs, I should say. And they're going to there, and they're at the parks. They're on the ground, and they're like, the people aren't here. And then we get emails from Disney all the time that's like, hey, we're running discounts on our hotel rooms. We're running discounts on our annual passes and our tickets.
Yeah, and they only do that if they, we're desperate.
Yeah, because that's a big eyebrow raise for me. I'm like, really? They're discounting stuff? This is how far we've come, huh?
I actually just saw that they were doing some kind of promotion where you're getting discount. If you have Disney Plus, you get discounts for the theme parks now.
Really?
I didn't really read into it. I just
might be more incentive to try and get people to sign up for Disney Plus, because that's been bleeding from day one and has never made a profit for them.
Yeah. Well, and doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. You kind of have to admit they really screwed up with the whole Jimmy Fallon thing.
Yes.
And that hurt them so bad.
Yes, it did.
That was a really dumb move on their part. Because they lost how many millions of people? How many millions?
It was
of subscribers?
over 6 million, I think it was. Or was that a dollar figure? I'm confusing it with.
Yeah, I can't remember which. I feel like it was like 32 million was like the loss. Maybe it was 6 million subscribers.
I don't know much about what's going on. I just know that since I'm a Disney Plus subscriber, I can't sue them. So that's all I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Such an odd thing. Disney Plus? Oh yeah, you can't sue us. Sorry.
that's happening. Well, I don't know if you remember Free Fry Fridays from McDonald's. That whole promotion was. Yeah, so they if you installed the app, you got free fries every Friday through the app. And as soon as you installed that app on your phone, you basically waived any claim you had against McDonald's now or in the future just by installing that app.
Okay, they lost 1.7 million subscribers because of the Jimmy Fallon thing. I'm looking to see what. I did see somewhere they give an equation or equated that to a dollar amount too, and that was huge.
Yeah.
I'm not finding it now.
And wouldn't that be 1.7 times the cost of a subscription?
Perhaps. Well, okay, here's somebody that's claiming. I say that because this isn't from any kind of news source. Claiming that Disney lost almost $4 billion in value since they dropped Jimmy Kimmel. But wait a minute.
Wait.
Yeah.
4 billion?
You were saying Jimmy Fallon, but it was Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was it? Yeah, that's right. Trump called out Jimmy Fallon as being next, I think. Yeah. After that. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, that's a lot of subscribers to try to pull back.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Well,
sure is.
Our last story is
mind-numbingly stupid.
This is funny.
So, apparently this lady was at some sort of amusement center and wanted to go on the bumper cars, which she claims she's been on before.
Go-karts.
A go-kart, sorry. But was turned away because she didn't meet height requirements, apparently. Or so this ride operator said. She put up a fuss, stopped the ride from operating, and the kids in line got pissed off about it. and started heckling her and called her a Karen and all kinds of things. And she's suing this entertainment center.
Well, she sued. So that incident happened in 2022.
Yeah.
And then her original lawsuit was filed in June of 2024, which she lost.
Yes. But she appealed it.
Yes, of course. What? Yeah.
Yeah. But now the county superior court said, "Are you kidding?" and threw it out. But, she's suing them with the claim that the park is responsible for controlling what the guests say.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
The park is responsible for those kids, and I do mean kids, teenagers and younger, calling her Karen. And the pain and suffering, I suppose, of being embarrassed and all of that, and how it happened in front of her own kids, and yada yada yada. And
the beauty of this, though, is that we can now say she's a Karen.
Yeah, because clearly the court agrees. It's now documented and upheld. But it's just amazing to me that, oh God, the whole thing is just so stupid.
The whole thing was she didn't meet the height requirements, and it doesn't say what, but she's I mean, to sit there and complain and hold up the line
yeah.
But I mean, isn't that a mentality these days, though? Isn't there just a mentality amongst so many people that if they just complain, they will just be passivated? Yeah, and they would just get passivated and just get whatever they want. Oh, if I just complain about it, we were joking about that because we passed a sheriff's officer on the way home from my son picking up my son from school. And it was just a joke. It's like, oh, yeah, because if you get pulled over and then you start with all the normal stuff, my salary pays your wages.
Right. It always works so well.
Right. So, and people just start hammering these things on top of these police officers that pulled you over for a reason,
Right, yeah.
It's like you were doing something. It's like they pulled you over for a reason. People just start hammering police officers all these things, just hoping that if they just be rude and mean and just crazy enough, that they'll just be like, oh, you know what? Never mind.
But to think you will intimidate a police person? I mean, they got into that line of work because they weren't easily intimidated, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, the thing is, when you start doing that, though, you're more likely to get a ticket.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Because you're just pissing them off.
And maximum fine on it too. No less.
Yeah.
Just the best thing you can do: keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Yep.
Be respectful. I'm sorry. I'm did
sorry.
it.
Yes.
I was speeding. I apologize. That's the best thing you can do because you were wrong. That's why they got pulled up.
Yep. Here it is, officer. My license, my registrations. Yep. You were speeding. It's like, I'm sorry about that, officer. I was. Why? It's like, I just honestly wasn't paying attention or whatever it might have been, and just wholeheartedly, I'm sorry about that. And then that's the end of the conversation. And then the guy walks back to the car, checks your license, your registration. Hey, the vehicle's registered. Awesome. Your license, you're not wanted for anything? Awesome. You now have a 50-50 shot that person is going to be like, you know what, it's fine. Here's a warning. Go on your way.
That was
slow it down.
The last time I was pulled over, it was such a dumb reason on my part, but it was literally that scenario. Like, yeah, you were speeding. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. And literally what had happened was I just got off of a highway where my cruise was set at 65. Mm-hmm. And I was in Pennsylvania in the mountains, and the road that I got off onto was like up. When I say up, I mean up. And for some reason, I just hit resume on my cruise. And it was fine because I was going up and way up. So, I'm cruising along at 45 miles an hour. And right as it started cresting, my car just took off. And all of a sudden, there's like, I crest the hill and there's a cop sitting right there.
Right there.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I wonder, my commute to work is almost entirely on an interstate road, but it's an urban section of it. So the speed limit technically is only 55. And I've oftentimes wondered what would happen if they actually started to enforce that speed limit, because literally no one is going 55.
Yeah.
The police will pass you.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And once in a blue moon, there's a policeman sitting there at one place or another. But even at that, you can go zooming past them at 70 and they won't care at all. 75, you know? And I've found my lead foot going 80 and being passed like I'm standing still.
Yeah. I always feel that way on the Parkway in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
It would take so many policemen to enforce that when so many people pay no attention to it at all. But how did we get into that? Well, okay. At least the judge is ruling. Back to the Karen was saying, because he talks about, unlike dangerous physical conditions that can be inspected and remedied, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But verbal insults that occur spontaneously cannot be reasonably prevented. So, okay, sanity prevailed against this lady who thought she could sue a company because of things that teenagers said that she probably earned, from what I'm reading between these lines.
Yeah, it really sad. I mean, the fact that she appealed this, there makes her a Karen.
Oh, yeah, just the demonstration of a sense of entitlement in that alone is
exactly
mind-boggling.
Exactly
but that's why it wins my Stupid Lawsuit of the Week award, because there've been a lot of stupid lawsuits lately that have come up, but this one is just.
And this is one of those too that is like there's no like that. You know, a lot of times when stupid lawsuits come out, I really remember the McDonald's coffee lawsuit. And like how that was like, you know, everybody was laughing about that, but then when you really realize what happened, it was no laughing matter. Like that was a serious problem. And like you think back to that and it's like, but this, like what, there's not even
so
any, there's
blatant.
there's no ambiguity here. This is just flat out. Just, why are you appealing this?
It has to cost her so much to pursue this.
And what's upsetting me is that it's between her and this iPlay company, and the part that's upsetting me is that it's actually not. It's between her and these kids.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
But she's looking for a way to make some money off of something stupid.
That's just like saying that if I walked outside and somebody insulted me, that I'm going to turn around and sue the state of Omaha, or the state. Oh my gosh. That's like I'm going to turn around and sue the city of Omaha because somebody on their streets insulted me. It's like, no. In my mind, if I was going to sue somebody, I would sue the individual. Like, But I'm also part of the older generation of sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will not hurt me. I don't know. This is also where I also applaud like other countries. Like Germany is one of my favorite ones to always go up there because I know I've heard lots from them. You bring lawsuits and stuff like this and they just throw them directly out. You won't even get to a judge or anything. No, they throw stuff like that straight out of court. It's like, no, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to anything. We're just going to completely throw this out and you are done.
I loved how when I was in Japan, the parks in their announcements while you're in the queue and all of that stuff about if you carry something onto this ride that we've told you shouldn't and something gets damaged or hurt or worse, you will be held responsible. They make no bones about it and you believe them. You know they're going to back it up. Yep. And nobody screws around.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've lost a lot of that personal accountability, personal liability that's here in the U.S., we just, nope, it's going to go to the nearest corporation that has all the money and just is going to shell out money because they can, or because it's the easier thing to do. That's unfortunately.
Thanks for listening to Side Friction Podcast. We release new episodes every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review on the platform you are listening to.
Visit our website at sidefriction.com to find show notes and other information, as well as links to other locations where you can find us.
Follow us on Mastodon, SideFriction at WorldKey.io, or follow me at RagingWolfBob at OpenCoaster.net.
Check out my channel on YouTube at Ryan the Ripe Mechanic.
We hope you'll join us next week and stay on track with Side Friction Podcast.